Jackson Burns, Redneck Archaeologist. I want to show you some displays from the Native American side. Kind of give you going over what's happening here. First, we're going to start with how Native Americans would tie things together. They need a string or whatever, they would make this, which is called a leather string, leather rope, leather piece, leather strap, whatever you're going to call it. It's a piece of leather, and they would cut a thin, they go out and kill a buffalo or deer or something kind of animal, and they would cut a thin strip out of it, and they would take it and they would stretch it and dry it and wet it and dry it and stretch it and dry it and wet it and dry it and all that good stuff. And then sooner or later they would have a little piece of rope or a long piece of string or whatever, leather, that they could tie, sew with, and whatever that they needed to do at the time. A lot of times to soften it, they would actually chew on it to soften it. Little leather softening technique for all you people out. Sacred object. This was made by Choctaws in Oklahoma, Choctaw Nation, where I'm from. And this is a gourd rattle. It's made out of simple gourd. They've taken and put different types of fur on it. Looks like possibly a rabbit fur or something like that. And they use leather, and they attach it to a stick, the gourd to a stick, and use leather to make the handle. And then at the end they left all this stuff, fancy stuff here. And they could also, in emergencies, use this to, they cut this off and use this to sew with too. She's not got this, she's not got doctor, she's not got, I'm not fully. A little something that my grandmother used to sing to me. One of the most sacred objects to all Native Americans, or the majority of the Native Americans, they didn't necessarily wear them. All tribes didn't necessarily wear them. They considered them sacred was the feather. If they were given one by a tribe or whatever, it singled them out. Basically, this was like a medal or whatever, and they didn't necessarily wear them, but they would put them up in their homes and their places, or we'd give bovines, whatever they may live in, teepees or whatever, and actually hang them and in a place of prominence. It's like an award, maybe an Oscar or something for an actor. Telly award to those who are in the non-broadcast industry. Anyhow, this is a feather. There's a legend about the numeric number phi. Everything on this is made to that specification. I'm not a mathematician, I'm not going into it, so we'll leave that for somebody way smarter than me. In the old days, this is from Mexico. I actually made this myself, scalpel. Yeah, this is an Onyx Knife brought in from Mexico. It's a letter opener. You can see it if I bring it closer. It has the face on it. Pretty cool. This is actually not a Aztec, Mayan, or Toltec. This is even older than that. It's kind of a Mayan symbol, or Aztec symbol. I'll show you the blade. This is made out of onyx, and it actually turns color in the sunlight, but we don't have sunlight out here today. How about that? Ain't that special? And it's very delicate. This is what they use. It's not. This is well made by modern manufacturers, but what they used in the old days in Mexico to do sacrifices was working on sacrificial rites, rituals. They weren't too pleased that day. It was either the sun or the moon. They would hold up that heart to it, and as it quit beating, the sun or that moon would actually disappear over the horizon. That would be the Mexican, the ancient ones. No one really knows who they are. Aztecs and Mayans and Toltecas have continued this tradition. Next, we're going to show a Bowie knife. Now, as time went along, and the Indians, the white man way, they started adapting to these blades. Now, this was designed by Bowie, who was Jim Bowie's brother. This is not quite a Bowie knife. The original Bowie knife had a brass strip here on the back to catch conflicting knives in knife fights. Bowie was a bad boy. Anyhow, this is something that the Indian would have and carry with him at all times, no matter what. That's Jackson Burns, Redneck Archaeologist. See you next week.